it's Hannah and welcome back to the Corner of Craft podcast. I know it's a week later than it normally is, but now it lines up again and the next podcast will be in 4 weeks, so it's worked out. If you're new, hello. It's nice to meet you. I'm glad you could join me. There may be all sorts of various noises around. I'm in the top of the house at the moment. There's been quite heavy rain so far. I think I've caught it at a sunny spell. Oh, hello, little one. There's also a cat who's come up to explore. Little Kimchi with the very sharp claws. So she might rustle around. And it's incredibly windy. So there's all sorts going on today. I am the owner of the Corner of Craft, which is a small business that I run by myself from my house. I make hand-dyed yarn in colours inspired by Dungeons and Dragons under the name Chromatic Yarns, and I also make beaded stitch markers, which are super cute and I love them. I had quite a big shop update on Wednesday and put all of the yarn and some of the stitch markers in from East Anglia Yarn Festival that was left over. So I believe there's still quite a lot of yarn left, so go ham. There's also still some stitch markers left at time of recording. I'm recording this on Thursday, so it's all happening. I'm coming at you today from, at the moment, sunny, but that will change because I have seen dark clouds on the horizon. Nottingham in the UK, in the middle of England specifically, land of Robin Hood, and yeah. The reason I didn't upload a podcast last week is because I decided to upload my East Anglia Yarn Festival vlog. It was my first time vlogging as a vendor, which was really fun. And it was only my 4th yarn show I've ever done. I feel like I've done way more. I have not done way more. So that's on me. So if you fancy checking that out, please feel free. And oh, also my hair is now orange. My hair has changed colour since the last time I saw you. It needs a bit of a refresh, truth be told. But that's okay. It's kind of orangey now, which is really fun. I have my dye to refresh it arrived yesterday. But I'd only just washed it, so I thought, you know, I'll wait until I need to do it again. So I'll either do that tomorrow, Saturday, or whatever. Today we have a fair few finished objects actually. A couple of them I can't show you because they've been gifted, but I've got video footage of me blocking them from a vlog a couple of weeks ago. And I've also got some other finished objects, and I have some whips. So I'm kind of a little bit in between projects because I've just finished the one that I was working on, and I haven't cast on anything new yet because I'm trying to decide what to cast on. Because I have all this beautiful stash behind me, but I also want to cast something on in my own yarn. That's the struggle. I need some more show samples. I need to finalise what colours I'm taking with me to the Wool Monty. I started a list yesterday, and yes. The tea I'm drinking today, because I know you're all intrigued, this is in my Silver Spot Ceramics mug, and I am drinking Bird and Blend cream egg tea that they sent me. I came back to a lovely parcel of Easter goodies after East Anglia Yarn Festival. So I've been making my way through the tin of cream egg because it's delicious. It's not, you know how a cream egg is like sickly sweet? It's not that. I mean, it still tastes like tea. It doesn't taste like a hot chocolate, but it is delicious. A cat has found a box. I can hear there's a cat in a box. If you want to snag some Bird and Blend for yourself, I do have a link in the description box below, so feel free to snag some. Also in the description box below are all of my social media links and the podcast notes. Each week I write up podcasts, or each month, sorry, I write up podcast notes in which I talk about the projects that I've knit, what I've knit it out of, blah, blah, blah. I never link back to Ravelry because I know it's not a safe website for everyone to use. Yeah, it's all listed down there. So if you miss anything, podcast notes. I've also started to try to, in vlogs as well as in, I've painted my nails, they're 2 different colours, but I feel like the blue only shows. The blue and purple, but the purple doesn't really show. But they're very short. I bit them down the other day. In the description box, I've started to add timestamps. So it should create little chapters either along the bottom of the video, or you can just click to skip ahead and see what bit you like. Because I know I can talk quite a lot. So, yes. Shall we chat about a bit of knitting to start with? I feel like I should have put some hand cream on. I've got very dry hands. So the first finished object that I am going to talk about, but I can't share with you, is I knit a newborn vertebrae cardigan for one of our friends' babies who was born, and I knit that out of Dusty Dimples in the Angel Wings colourway, and it was so pretty and it was so cute and so small. And because she has an older brother, I had cast on this jumper before Christmas and was knitting it around after Christmas, because I knit it whilst watching Spider-Man in the cinema when I went to see it with my mum and dad, because I was knitting the body and I added an extra 2 inches onto the body accidentally. It's the flax sweater, and I knit that out of King Cole Forest Aran in the colourway Red Bray Wood, which is the same colour that I knit Mario's single malt jumper out of. And I knit the flax pattern by Tin Can Knits. I just missed off the garter panel down the sleeve and just did it as like a plain raglan, and gifted it at the same time. It's a good job I added the extra 2 inches on the body because it fits like a glove. It feel like it was made for him. And historically I have not had the best of luck making jumpers for him. I've always made them too small because he was quite a big baby, and now he's approaching, I think he'll be 2 this summer. And he is in the size 2 to 4 jumper, and I knit an extra 2 inches on the body. So maybe it's either Tin Can Patterns, Tin Can Knit flax toddler children sizes fit weirdly, or, I mean, I don't gauge swatch for them, so that could also be a factor. Anyway, it fit him really well, and apparently he loves the jumper, so that is always good to hear. I'm glad he likes and enjoys it. So those are the first 2 finished objects that I do not have with me and I cannot show you. Oh, I forgot to say, so the cardigan that I am wearing, I'm wearing custard cream t-shirt because of course I am, it's from Lucy Teacup, but the cardigan that I am wearing is the Fluff Nugget cardigan. This is made out of Chromatic Yarns, my own hand-dyed yarn, fluffy lace in the Potion of Heroism colourway. I actually at the moment have enough of that yarn in stock if you want to make one of these of your very own, which is very exciting. This is made using 3 strands of mohair held together, so it is a bit of an elaborate luxurious knit, but I have worn it so much. I need to knit myself another one at some point because it's just such a good one to just throw on. It's nice and it's fluffy and it goes with everything. So yeah, this is the Fluff Nugget cardigan, patterned by Becky Sorensen, and it's fully size inclusive, available on Ravelry, off Ravelry, and is very clearly written. And it's all entirely in brioche, but it's a brioche cardigan, so you don't have to purl brioche until you get onto the sleeves. The only bit that I was worried about, and it's one colour brioche, which is actually quite easy. The only bit that I was worried about were the short rows, and she has a fantastic video tutorial on them, so it wasn't even an issue. My hair, I'd washed my hair on Tuesday night and then slept on it, so it's dried funny. It looked okay yesterday, but it does not look okay today. I went to record this yesterday because that is how I planned my week out, and the people across the road were having something done in their garden, and they had like a tree shreddery chipper thing, I don't know what they're called, out the front of the house, which was incredibly noisy. And then it started to absolutely chuck it down with rain, and I have skylight just here, so I thought that's going to be incredibly noisy. So I didn't record, but it was raining while I put my makeup on, but it stopped, so I'm trying to get through this. Although at the moment I'm taking quite a long time. It's nice, it's leisurely. The next finished object I have was a very quick knit that I knit for me to wear at East Anglia Yarn Festival. You may remember that I knit one of these for the Wool Monty in 2019, if you've been around that long, but I don't actually dye that colourway that much anymore, so I thought I kind of need to make one in a colourway I currently have. So on the Sunday before we went on the Friday. On the Sunday I cast this on, and I finished it on the Wednesday and blocked it, and was able to block it outside because it was gloriously sunny and it dried and it was wonderful. I have an end sticking out. That's because it's a very loose gauge, which makes weaving in ends very awkward. There we go. This is the Magpie Tendencies, and it is a pattern by Skenanikins. I mean, I haven't washed it since I wore it all day on the Saturday of the yarn show, so apologies, but at the same time, This is out of a new colourway, which is called Metagaming Pigeon, and there is actually still some left in the shop. I adore this colourway and think it's so fun. I'm just going to show you close up and shut up for a second. And it's made out of a sock set, so all of the bright pink bits are made out of the mini skein. And then, do I actually have them up here with me? Yes. I made the 46-inch bust because that was the appropriate ease. Even though I watched back the video that I talked about this in, and I said I would knit the smaller size because I like it a bit more fitted and blah blah blah. I was much slinkier then and didn't mind things being a bit more fitted. I am now significantly less slinkier, thanks in part to me eating too much and also you know, pandemic stress. So I've knit the bigger size again because why not? And it still means the other top I knit still fits me, so it's fantastic. This is how much I have left of each of them. So I was a little bit worried that I was going to run out of the mini, but I didn't, so it was fine. And that's how much I have left of the main colour, so I could have made it a little bit longer if I wanted to. I wear this over a dress that I have, and it's just perfect for it. Because yeah, it is cropped, clearly, as you can see. And yes, it's knit at a very loose gauge, which is how I was able to knit it so quickly, and it's nice and airy, good for the summer. There are a couple of options. There's a V-neck option, but that's a separate pattern. But there's also options, different ways of colour blocking, and there's options for longer sleeves, like 3/4 length sleeves if you want to go that route. But I just wanted to knit this quickly. So that was one of the things that I finished. And I sewed on one of my little labels that I got from Emma of Yarnistry. I ordered, or I asked her if she did these. So she bought some leather in, or some faux leather in for me, and made them. So send her a message if you want something similar. It's just a little label that says the corner of craft. Super cute. I thought it might be quite helpful. I don't know, just thought it'd be nice. Thought it would be nice. I've got a couple of quite loopy stitches in this. I think my bracelet probably got caught in it at some point, and it's pulled some tight and some loose, and I probably just need to go in with a crochet hook. But that's okay. And yeah, it's just quite an easy pattern. It's a weird construction. I forgot it's a weird construction. My fingers are still peeling because I haven't done any bead weaving for a while, so the calluses that I was building up, and I'll just peel it. It's glamorous. The glamorous life of bead weaving excessively for a yarn show that I need to start doing again for the next one. But the it's a weird construction because you do an I-cord cast on and then you like knit this top tab, and then you pick up stitches and knit this top tab, and then you pick up stitches all the way around and knit down. It's weird. It's really weird, but it works, which is always nice. And you've got a nice I-cord cast off, and also on the sleeves, and yeah, it's just a good pattern. I like to knit these for yarn shows because one, it shows what you can make with one skein of yarn, or even 2 skeins of yarn if you either want to make it bigger or longer, and it's just a good demonstration of like what you can do with a skein of sock yarn aside from making socks. And also sock sets if you want to get the sock sets because you like the colour combo but you don't want to make socks. That's why I was saying with this one, where is it? Give me a second. Like, I love this colour combo. I love this. I think this is fantastic. But I don't know if I necessarily want to make socks out of it. This is Castle View Yarns in a limited edition colourway she did for her 2nd business anniversary. And it's called 2. And I think it would be really cool to make a magpie tendency out of this, or I know there are also a ton of shawl patterns and such out there, but I just like to show another option, you know? Okay. Next up, we finally have the Advent shawl. There is one end that I realised as I was trimming off all the other ends just now. Oh no, did one go in my tea? No, I'm good. Just now. There's one end that I hadn't sewn in. So that's the dangler, but that's okay. Finally finished my Advent shawl, and it's all blocked. So this is the Calico Quilt Shawl, and it was designed as a mystery knit along to be knit with the Bumblebee Acres Advent calendar in, I think, 2018? 2018. And it's by Samantha Troyer, who is Bumblebee Acres Farm. Bumblebee Acres Farm, there we go. It's their business and whatnot. So they designed this, and I thought, you know what, I'm going to knit that out of the Chromatic Yarns Advent calendar this year, because in 2020 I did tiny jumpers and I didn't finish the tiny jumpers. So I thought if I make a shawl, I might actually finish the shawl. And I did, and it's all blocked and it's beautiful. So let's just take some time to go through the colours, shall we? I like when it's ended up that like two tonal colours have ended up next to each other. Unintentional, obviously. Because I just knit this in the order that it appeared in the Advent. It's oddly symmetrical because those actually are quite similar. And then going down. And then boop. I haven't put the pom-poms, the tassels on it, because I don't think I want the tassels on it. And I've pretty aggressively blocked it because why not? It was an easy pattern to knit, easy pattern to memorize, and a great way of using your Advent minis, or even just scraps, truth be told. If you are like me and you like an Advent that's like a mishmash of colours as opposed to a fade. I mean, there's method behind the madness, but you know what I mean. If you like ones that are random colours as opposed to a fade, then this is a great pattern. And yes, I really like it. And I think it's going to get a lot of wear because it's a good size. Although I have a BFL based yarn, it's my sturdy sock base, in my Advents, I find that it blocks quite softly, so it's alright for me to wear around my neck, but then I realise I'm not as sensitive to scratchiness as some people are, and I'm just going to rearrange my feet quickly because I'm losing the feeling in my feet. But yeah, it's just a really pretty knit. This was the 100-gram skein that you got with it. It's called Sunrise Over the Spine of the World. Sunrise at the Spine of the World. I'm reading it off the label over there. And I just wound off a little bit of it and knit it into the triangle. It's a really pretty colour. I think I might have to bring it back next Christmas in the shop as a regular, just because it's quite a subtle, not my usual thing, but it's really nice. But yes, I really enjoyed this knit. And yeah, I'm going to go off on a little bit of a tangent right now to talk about the Chromatic Yarns Advent Calendar 2022. That is, I have a video all about it, talking about when the release dates are, talking about what you get, how much it is, blah blah blah. I've worked out postage for this year, and it's a little bit cheaper than it was last year, which is always nice because the Advent Calendar itself is the same price. So you will have 3 opportunities to snag a spot on the 2022 Advent Calendar. They sold pretty quickly last year, so just to give you a heads up if you are interested. Please set an alarm. Don't blame me if you miss out, because I'm only doing as many as I'm doing. I cannot do more, you know. So we've got the 9th of April at 4 PM BST, that's tomorrow. We've got the 7th of May at 9 AM BST, and the 11th of June at 7 PM BST. They're all on a Saturday. I've done them all at different times of the day, so hopefully I can hit every time zone. And a friendly reminder to those of you who are part of the Patreon group, you have access 24 hours early, and each time half the listings will be up for patrons for the Biscuit Brew crew. I'll pop half the listings up, and then I will pop the other half up on the Saturday. That way everyone has an opportunity. I just thought it would be a fun additional perk for those of you in the Biscuit Brew crew as a thank you. So thanks. But yes, I'm back. Hi if you skipped ahead. Yes, I really enjoyed this knit and it wasn't difficult to do. The only reason it took me till April to finish is because I was knitting other things as well. Like this jumper I abandoned because the sleeves are too long and I'm trying to decide if the body's too short. I need to try it on again really. Because there's no point me having knit a whole jumper and then not finishing it. It's so stupid. But I got annoyed with it, so I've just left it there. But yes, that is the final thing that I have finished. My calico quilt shawl. Actually, that was actually quite nice and warm. I might put that back on. Right. Now we are moving into whips, works in progress, and also a half object. Yeah. So the only whips I currently have on the needles are socks. I know. Because I finished this and then got really into knitting the socks that I was knitting and haven't cast on anything else yet. Because yeah, there's a couple of jumpers that I want to cast on, but I also think I want to cast something on out of my own wool, and it's I'm just taking a breath and a moment to decide, so doing some nice easy sock knitting. So these are socks that I cast on at East Anglia Yarn Festival that I started to knit while the show was on, to show my yarn, but also as, you know, something to keep my hands occupied as I was, you know, walking around chatting to people, blah blah blah. These are actually going to be a gift to one of my friends because it was her birthday and I haven't knit her a pair of socks before, so I thought it would be fun. Ba-ba! So I have half finished object, or a half object if you will, a hoe. Yes. And this is where I am on sock number 2. So this is just a basic ribbed sock. It's not a set pattern that I follow. This one is 72 stitches on 2.5mm needles. I like to use higher sharps, but everyone has their needle of choice. Don't let me persuade you that any needle is better than the other. And this is knit out of Chromatic Yarns Rose Keep on my sparkle sock base, which has lurex running through it, which makes it extra sparkly. I had people coming up at East Anglia Yarn Festival being like, oh my god, it's so sparkly, because I had like a grid wall of sparkle. I was like, yeah, it is very sparkly. You're not going to be able to tell, are you? And I have a little wizard that I made on here. Where's his wand? There we go. That's just to mark where I started my increases. So the heel that I did is the New Depths heel. This is also a pattern by Becky Sorensen, and I love this heel. It's easy to knit, it's easy to memorize, and I just increased by 4 stitches because I don't know the intimate anatomy of my friend's foot. So I don't know if she has a high arch or what, so I basically knit the same sock I would knit Mario, just a shorter foot. I did 15 rows of 2x2 rib, and then I did 3x1 rib on the leg, so knit 3, purl 1, and then on the bottom I did knit 3, purl 1 on the top, and then the bottom is just plain stocking stitch with a wedge toe. Is that what it's called? I don't know. I need to watch more knitting podcasts. I've got out the loop on what lingo is what. But I like this pattern because it tends to fit quite a broad spectrum of person. Like, I could wear these socks, they'd be a little bit baggy, but I could comfortably wear them. That's why I like a ribbed sock, because if you're not entirely sure on people's like foot width and leg circumference and blah blah blah, I feel like a ribbed sock gets you out of some trouble because it's stretchy. And yes, so I finished them yesterday morning because I thought I was going to be podcasting yesterday, but I obviously then didn't podcast yesterday. I feel like a light from above isn't the most flattering, and it's just like making me look old. But I cast on the second sock and knit this yesterday evening because Mario was out playing Dungeons and Dragons with his friends, and so I cast on my second sock. The reason my needles are on such a long cable, I don't. So the first time when I first started knitting socks and doing magic loop specifically, I bought a really long cable because I thought in case I do 2 at a time. I haven't done 2 at a time that often, but I do have a shorter cable, but it's currently in use on my D&D socks that I haven't touched, because last D&D session I was knitting this. And the one before, I think I was knitting my shawl. So they've not been touched in a little while, but we have D&D this week, so I can get back on them. Because yeah, this is where my short cable is, so I can get back on knitting those. Good, they're really pretty. But yes, I have done the cuff and I've just started the leg. I have a little, it's just so cumbersome. I've got a little strawberry stitch marker on this one. Super cute. And yeah, boop. I was thinking with any of the yarn that I have left over, I could just make a little shorty sock or just a little baby sock and have that as a show sample with just whatever I have left out of this, because I should have more than I have left when I knit Mario socks, because I'm not knitting size 9.5, 10 or however big his feet are. That is living in my The Little Grey Girl project bag. It's a drawstring project bag and it's covered in wizards and also covered in mohair because I keep putting mohair projects in it. And I have a Holly Heartfelt little bumblebee felted thing on it, but I have to tuck it in when I'm downstairs because the cats like to attack it. Thanks, bud. So my final whip is living in my Down Sheepy Lane project bag. I went and checked on Down Sheepy Lane's Instagram and their website, and it's all like shut down, so I hope they're doing okay. I might reach out and ask her. The cats have attacked this a little bit, it's a bit frayed. Because yeah, I hope that everything's okay. We have my Caduceus pin here from Secret Cat Shop, and then we've also got my Let's Go Make a Cup of Tea pin and my Lockdown Sockdown pin, which are designed by. But in here, perfect little sock-sized bag with, I've actually got a little sloth progress keeper on the drawstring of the bag. I love a drawstring bag. I think they're better than zip bags in my opinion. I have a new sock that I cast on. If the rains have started, so apologies if the noise changes. Also, it's quite windy. There's a bathroom just here. It's a weird room. I bought some, where is the label? I bought a Giddy Yarn self-striping ball in the Cherry Blossom colourway, 75% superwash merino, 25% nylon. I bought that from East Anglia Yarn Festival, and I said it was the intention to knit the cold brew socks. That was a pattern that was going to be coming out soon by Alison of Lofty Loops. It has now come out. Fantastic. It has now been released, and I'm hosting an informal knit along on the Corner of Craft Discord. Link is in the description box below. And yeah, it's very informal, very chill. There are no prizes or anything. It's just like a community type thing. And several people said they wanted to knit it and asked if we could have a knit along, and I said sure, why not? So you don't have to use self-strapping yarn. You could use scraps. You could use minis. You can whatever. It's a lovely pattern. It's not difficult to do at all. And yeah, so this is what it's knitting up like. In the more similar colour changes, it's quite difficult to see the pattern, but in these ones it's a bit clearer. I think it'll be better in the other ball of self-striping, or balls should I say, of self-striping that I have. But yeah, that's just how it works out really. So just but it's still really pretty, so I'm glad I chose it. And I'm just using some grey that I had in stash that I'm hoping is the same weight. It's a slightly different colour than the charcoal. This charcoal is a bit of a darker colour, and this grey is a bit of a lighter one, but I think it's close enough. And on there I have another Corner of Craft stitch marker. See, I've been very good this time, and I'm actually using all my stitch markers instead of everyone else's. And it's a tiny Cherry Blossom stitch marker, which is really cute. I love it. Don't know if it's even clear to see. I had a few of these go up in the shop update and they sold within minutes, so thank you everyone very much. It's kind of like a seasonal thing, so they probably won't be coming with me to the Wool Monty because it's not cherry blossom or even blossom season in June, unless it is, and if it is, please correct me. But they're really pretty. And yeah, I'm knitting 64 stitches on 2.25mm needles, and I've done 15 rounds of 2x2 rib. The pattern calls for many more, but I'm not a glutton for punishment. So 15 rounds of 2x2 rib, and then yeah, I'm enjoying these. They're fun. They're a fun knit, and I just keep dipping between projects, which is quite nice. It's quite refreshing, and yeah, just something a bit different to do with your self-striping yarn if you're just bored of having doing that plain round and round and round knitting. Don't get me wrong, I love round and round and round knitting. It has a time and a place in the world, but I just wanted to try something a little bit different. I'm going to take a swig of tea. It's going to be ice cold. I'm going to show you some stash enhancements. There's nothing new on top of what I showed you in the East Anglia Yarn Festival vlog, so if you want to skip ahead, you can skip ahead. That is more than fine. My candle's downstairs, it's being burned. Not as we speak, because that's irresponsible, but I left it downstairs. Very good. There was that self-striping that I've just shown you, but I bought another colourway as well. I love that she stores them in these organza bags like this for when she's got sets. So this is a 50 gram ball and this is a 20 gram mini. And this is in the Angelina colourway. And the mini doesn't have a name, it's just in a coordinating colour. It's very pretty, very pastel and very spring, which I like. That's from Giddy Yarn. If you want more details, feel free to watch the vlog. Yes. And then I bought these two skeins from the Fibre Fox, who has had an outstanding Advent launch. I don't know what happened there. So a huge congratulations to you, Ben and Georgie. That's incredible. And I feel slightly overwhelmed for them, but also very excited for them. So congratulations. I don't even know if they watch my podcast, but congratulations nonetheless. And yes, so this is in the Marzipan colourway. This is 75% superwash merino, 25% nylon, and this is in the birthday cake colourway, which is, you know, pretty good because, I mean, although not many birthday cakes have marzipan on them anymore, but and this is 74% baby suri alpaca and 26% mulberry silk, and they're going to go together. We go together like mama lama lama, a tickety ding dong. Remember forever, like shoo-wap, shoo-wada-wada, hippity-boop-de-boop. You know, I'm that person who takes a joke and then sings one line too many. And they're going to be used together in a cute little hat and be paired with this beautiful pom-pom that is from the Crafty Bird Robin. So it's a faux fur pom-pom, and I chose it specifically to go here with these to be a hat. Ta-da! That's it. I mean, I've also added to my own stash from my own hand-dyed yarn with the February Knit Roll colourway, which is I Hit Things for Money, and the March Knit Roll colourway, which is Maud. I love this one. It makes me think of mini eggs. Might be my Easter cast on. The sign-ups to April's have now closed. I used to be a bit more sporadic with when I close them, but now I've got a bit more capacity to dye in the dye shed. I leave them open for a full week, and then I'm going to be dyeing them up hopefully tomorrow, which is Friday. I can hopefully going to be dyeing them up tomorrow. So I'm trying to be better with the yarn club because, yeah, before it was very sporadic, and when I thought I reached some kind of capacity, I was like, cool, I'm going to close it now, blah blah blah. But I'm now just going to leave them open for a week because I always get messages from people saying, oh, we missed it. So if I leave it open for a week, boop, then you don't have an excuse because you've had a whole week. And I post about it a lot. You can't say that I don't. So those are the things that I enhanced my stash with. Right. I'm just going to very briefly chat shop news. Like I mentioned in the intro, near the beginning, I had a huge shop update on Wednesday and there is still some yarn available. I'm going to be dyeing up the club colourways. I've also got a couple of sweater quantities that I sold at East Anglia Yarn Festival. They are going to be dyed up tomorrow, and hopefully then I will start packaging things up on Saturday. It was going to be Saturday and Sunday, but I'm going out for lunch with the in-laws I think. So won't be Sunday, that is fine. I might do some Sunday morning. I should probably tidy though, maybe not Sunday. And basically the goal is to get everything shipped out by the end of next week, which would be fantastic. So you've still got plenty of time if you want to purchase things, is what I'm trying to say, and I will ship them out next week. I know some people get them out the next day. I'm being realistic with my timeline for myself. I don't want to like rush, but yes, we'd hopefully get them shipped out next week. The advent calendars, like I said, I've told you the dates that they're all going live. It will all be Dungeons and Dragons themed again, because that is what my yarn is. And it won't be a fade, it will be a lovely selection of colours that I come up with throughout the summer, and I'm excited to start dyeing that up soon. I need to order all the yarn for it, but it's impossible to judge how well something's going to sell. I have like my top limit on how many I'm doing, but I don't know if they'll all sell. So I'm tentatively waiting until the first round has gone live and I see either how quickly they've gone or how well they've gone. So I'll order yarn shortly after then, and hopefully start dyeing it up the next week, because then I also need to start dyeing up yarn for the Wool Monty, which is a show that I am going to be doing in June. So this was going to be the last shop update for a little bit whilst I prep for all the other stuff. Luckily it was a big one, so there's going to be lots in the shop still. And yeah, other than that, is there anything else I need to tell you? Don't think so. Pretty standard affair. Cool, so life stuff. How has life been? Last week I was pretty tired. On the Monday I felt really jazzed and got the vlog edited on the Tuesday. I tried to take the day off on Monday but couldn't take the day off and still did stuff. On the Tuesday I edited the vlog. Wednesday I was just really tired, and Thursday. But I did some photography of yarn on Friday and such. You would have seen this in the Patreon vlog, and if you're part of the Biscuit Brew crew, obviously. And yeah, so not a whole host I feel like has happened in the month since I last sat down and had a chat to you. Mario's business is still going very well. He's picked up more wholesale accounts, which is always nice because it's guaranteed income, which is lovely. And his markets have been getting busier and busier every time, which is fantastic. On Sunday, once a month, there's a bit of a clash between somewhere he has a pop-up and somewhere he has a market. So I helm the market while he does the pop-up, and then he comes and joins me, and it works out fine. But it's always a bit of a frantic first hour for me while he's not there. And yeah, at that market, we had sold out everything and got to leave an hour early because we had nothing more to sell. So that was always nice. But yes, it's reassuring to see his business picking up in light of the cost of everything going up in the UK. It's a bit of a stressful time for business owners, so be kind. Be kind to us. Because yeah, not so much with bread, because people will choose to spend their money on bread, but it's a bit worrying when you're selling yarn, you know? But this shop update has shown that it's all good in the hood, so thank you so much. Other than that, it's Easter soon. I've broken my Lent thing of not eating chocolate. I did really well for like 2 weeks. I don't even know how long. I did really well. I feel really proud of myself. And then I've eaten chocolate, so I'm alright with it personally. And I'm pretty sure that's everything. The cats are well. Kimchi got more scabs on her head. We think we know what's causing it now because they were healing and almost all gone. And then they went in a cupboard they're not meant to go in, and it like loops behind the back of the sink. So we try not to let them go in there. And they went in there for the first time in about 2 weeks. And then the next day we noticed more scabs on her head. So it could be something to do with the dust back there irritating her scalp or something. So we need to work out how to block that off somehow. Because if we block it off, and then they won't be interested in going in the cupboard. Because they won't have their little exploring space. I don't know. Anyway, But yeah, the bubs are fine overall, generally. And I think that's pretty much everything. Yes? Feels a bit boring. I feel like I haven't done an awful lot. That's fine. Thank you so much for watching. I hope that you enjoyed this video. If you did, please consider subscribing. I post a video on here every single week, and one of those is a podcast once a month where we chat knitting, and I want to, maybe I'll start a crochet project soon because I really want to do some crochet. I know, it's my own fault, I haven't done any. So yes, feel free to subscribe. It would be lovely to have you here. If you would consider supporting me on Patreon, please feel free. There's no pressure. Link can be found in the description box, along with all my social media and the show notes and any other information that I think you might need. And yes, please feel free to give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. It really helps me out and helps get my video out there in the YouTube algorithm a bit more. And if you would like to leave a comment, that would be absolutely lovely. Being self-employed can be quite lonely at times, so it's nice to have you to natter with. So let me know what you've been working on. Do you have any crochet project recommendations? Do you have any recent acquisitions that you have bought? And things like that. Let me know. Leave me a comment down below. It will be absolutely fantastic to hear from you. And with all that being said, thank you so much for watching. It's been lovely spending this time with you, and I will see you very soon in my next video. Bye!